what I'm looking at. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. So you can definitely check it out here. I love this because it does 2 in 1, and you don't need to type it out and reread it. Sometimes if you're not the type of person to like write an essay and you're more of the type of person to talk, this is perfect for you. So definitely check it out at blogrecorder.com. A lot of great people left reviews already, and you can go ahead and check out some of their videos on here. So yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and show you today. I believe there's a free trial for you to go ahead and start out with first. As you can see, you can start free first. So yeah, so go ahead and check them out. And today's PR is gonna go ahead and show you what they can do. Okay, so what we're gonna do is it is in also I forgot to mention that Blog Recorder is an AI generated tool. It will go ahead and write it out for you while you talk your talking points to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started first. So we're gonna go ahead, go to our Discord group, see who needs a good review first. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Jen's right here. Jen's, no particular order, so don't feel like I'm picking on you or anybody at Gridiron Survivor. So no particular order. I promise I'm really nice. So yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so we found Jen's. Okay. We're gonna allow. Oh, cool. Okay, so this is how it's gonna start. Okay. This is how I like to review PR. So I go ahead and start on the pull request page. I pick that specific branch that I'm going to go ahead and look at their code. And afterwards, I am going to go ahead. Couple things I like to verify first. What is this ticket telling me? What is the name description? What is it telling me? What will it be entailing? And then also, I always like to look at branches to make sure that it's merging into the correct branch. Is it going to a different branch? Just to make sure, because branches can get a little wonky, especially if you're a little newer. So, and after that, I like to go into here and read the comments just to gauge what has been changed and what I should anticipate when I'm reading the reviews. The code changes. Okay, so it says here it closes number 315. I love it when these numbers are attached to the ticket so you know what the tickets entail for details as well. Afterwards, I like to see what kind of changes they made. Set team if the user currently has been selected, and it's supposed to disable teams from being selected if they've been used. Fix only one team at a selected time. Okay, so we understand there's a little description there. Afterwards, I like to read if there are other comments that have been added as well as we scroll down the page. And then afterwards, I will read all of this. I noticed that the blog recorder has 15 minutes. I'm trying to squish it up a little bit there. So, all right, you can see, so we have 2 reviewers on there right now, and I like to go onto the files change tab. And what I'm gonna look at here is on the left, you can see what the changes are, and on the right are what the new code changes that are being added. And as you can see, a couple of things I like to pay attention to is I want to understand what the functions are going to be doing. So say for instance, get current user entries for this specific test. What would that entail? I also like to look at on top of this, I like to follow the dry principles and also solid principles. We can get into that another day, definitely for sure. But I like to have those in the back of my mind as I'm reading through the code changes. Let's see. Also, I like to, on top of keeping code dry, I want to make sure I understand what's going on with these code, what's going on with the code changes. Can I understand? Because like as you start to pick up and read more of the code, you start to read it as English. I'm starting to read it as English because It gets really easy to understand. You can read it in plain English. Before it was like it wasn't digestible as well. But now I'm starting reading it like English, like dog is walking or something like that. And now you can say, um, what would be a good one? Let's see. How would you say that? Dog walk, walk dog, something like that with a walk function and a walk and a walk. I can see a picture it as a walk function and then a dog been getting passed in for the record. Just want to make sure we got enough time. Okay, so on top of that, I like to look at all the files that are getting changed right here. Yes. So, let's see. And then after I review all the changes, I can make all the changes in this review changes here, whether I want to approve it or I need any changes requests. I will go ahead and leave it there. If I usually go to review changes and I will click approve right here saying, hey, everything looks good to me. Great job on what you've done so far. Or if I have a specific question about this, I can go in and say, hey, what is Get All Weekly doing here? And I'll add a single comment, or you can start a review on it as well. I'd like to cancel. That is interesting. I've never heard of resize observer. That is interesting. But yeah, that's what I definitely like to do when I review code changes. I just generally, overall, in conclusion, overall objective is just to make sure that I understand, overall changes. Overall, in conclusion, what I like to understand is to make sure that I understand that what their objectives are. Are they meeting their objectives? And is it following good, dry, solid principles? And can we do anything better about it? And would I have any other recommendations? Or if they have other recommendations that are, if they're, I also love to give people like their credit that they deserve. Say for instance, if I saw like, say for instance, week data target value is a string. Like, hey, I never thought of that. Like, hey, great job on figuring this out. Because sometimes people love to hear and know like great things that they're doing. So I definitely like to point that out to others as well. I don't know if you guys do it, but I love to do it. Let's see. Yes. So on top of that, yeah, I would love to also know like how else would you guys review PRs. I would love to know what your thoughts are. I always try to make sure my comments are concise, thoughtful, and can explain my thoughts. So that's what I definitely make sure to do. But otherwise than that, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and review this PR. I'm gonna stop blog recorder and let's go ahead and try to see how that goes. Okay. Alright, done. Okay, check it out. It's all in motion. Your file has been uploaded. It should be processed shortly. Good. Okay, so honestly, this is my first time doing this, so I'm really excited though. This is kind of exciting for me because I've written a lot of Medium articles and it takes a while. Oh, I forgot to also mention that I like to make sure that all the checks pass as well. I forgot to mention that. I like to make sure that all the checks pass and it's doing what it is intended to do. Okay, we'll come back and check on this. Okay, let's go ahead and review this PR together then. Okay, so what is 315? 315 is make a selection page updates. And it's more geared towards UX UI because there are three different silos to the team. UX UI, more the front end, and you get your functional engineer. I love how I had a coffee chat with a friend of mine, and she mentioned how it is the back end of front end. I love how that she said that, and so I will be saying functional engineering at the back end and front end, and then after that, there is the backend that deals with all the databases, all that code bases. So here you can see it's front end. So it's gonna make a selection page update. Okay, here's the problem statement from this ticket. Player wants to see a list of the week's NFL schedule, which teams are playing against one another and which team they have available to select from. Team is active and user can select them. Team is active and the user currently has them selected. Team is used already and is disabled from being selected. So essentially, just to make sure I understand, I always like to make sure I understand by being able to put my own words into it. So acceptance criteria, basically making sure that, hey, your team is alive. Say for instance, Minnesota Vikings, and see, let's use a screenshot. Oops. the way that it's spit out like this, that's pretty cool. Okay, a practical guide to code review, my personal approach. I have a specific, okay, it generated the words 10 times better than I would have done. Is it merging into the correct branch? And then diving into reading the code. Okay, Eddie, this is really good. Reading the code, move on to the files, change, understanding the functions, adhering to principles. Okay, you win. This is really good. I love how Blog Recorder was really digestible and it broke down into pieces. It cleaned up my speech really well, because as you can see, I rambled a little bit while I was doing this, and it selected only certain pieces and put it all together in a concise way. This is a whole new revelation to creating blogs. If I create more blogs, you know why. But join us today, so you can definitely start for free on Blog Recorder. So I hope to see more of yours soon. So yes. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, sorry, but let's go back to this one right here. Acceptance criteria. I just want to make sure I can say it in my own words. If I can go ahead and regurgitate what was stated, then that means I have a good understanding of what's expected out of me. So here is the team is active and user can select them. So say for instance Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks, the teams are no longer active and user can't select them. But hey, these teams are alive and the user can select them. So, and then the team is used already and is disabled from being selected. So say for instance this one is Cardinals are selected, it can't be chosen again. Like, hey, you already made a pick. And also the team is active, saying like, hey, these specific two teams are still alive. You got to figure out which team you want to choose. And then this right here is saying team is active and user currently has them selected. So basically saying, hey, I'm going to show your choice of which one you picked out of the teams that are alive right now. Okay. So it's going to set the team the user currently has them selected. So it's going to show which team they have chosen. And then here, we're going to disable teams from being selected if they're currently used already. So you can only pick one team. Only one team can be selected at a time. Awesome. Sometimes I like to read before the history before, so I can gauge a better understanding, just in case I might duplicate some other recommendations that might have been mentioned earlier, or ask why was this reversed when I could have read the history, and so I don't duplicate or make them redo something that they already did. So just to avoid all that time. All right, so any potential side effects? Okay, yeah, I am curious with adding all these 3 dependencies. I would like to know, would it cause more re-rendering, and would that slow down the loading? Because we're waiting for all these datas and these dependencies to work first. Let's see. Is this really not a change element anymore? Yeah, I would like to know as well. Okay, create a helper function for this. Keeping your UI's components we will allow to test functionality like this outside of the component. Yeah, one thing I've come to learn is that it's called single responsibility. I think single responsibility something. It's one of these solid principles where you want to have the function just do one single thing, and that helps with testing because when you test a function, you only need to test for one thing. You don't need to test for this check and this other check. So, yeah. 22 more. Can I get into entry, please? Please, like, into this. So it seems like here, Sashi went into the local branch and then he checked it. He went into Jen's branch on his local machine to check out all the changes to make sure that they adhere to all the requirements that were listed. Okay. Sort these. Ryan, you're so funny. Yes. Okay, so one thing that I've noticed for sure when we do these PR change or any PRs or anything you do with components, you always want to make sure you sort them in alphabetical order, easier to read on the eyes. Okay, a lot of sorting. This was also changed. I wonder. Okay, sorting, more sorting. This was also changed in iWeek data. How do you determine it's no longer? Okay, so what it was before was this, and now, yeah, I feel like more into that week interface. More sorting. What is this doing in the test and why? Just curious how you're using it. Export team select. I think I asked Ryan about that. Ryan. We sort the variables is to keep the code clean. Easier to read. You can definitely see all the conversation if you join the Gridiron Survivor Discord group. So you can definitely see all our conversations that are going on right now. So feel free to come hang out with us there. All right, I will go ahead and finish reviewing this in a bit, and also because it's lunchtime for me. So yeah, we'll definitely talk soon. I'll be back. So let's talk soon.